Welcome to Vinegar and Oil. I'm Lila,
And I'm Charly.
and this is our pilot episode for a new podcast that we are putting out where we are comparing and contrasting our lives and the journey to finding health and happiness in just a really real and authentic way.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, what are we doing here? There's a little bit of imposter syndrome, not gonna lie.
Why is there what's the imposter syndrome?
I don't know, doing something new or I don't know. Who am I to tell people? But I mean, we have I got the doctor after my name. You got what are your letters?
That's the whole I'm kind of a natural healing renegade because I don't have any it's complicated. So I'm a CFNC, certified functional nutrition counselor. I will be a registered herbalist. That'll be my letters, but herbalism operates in the dark. We don't have licensure. It's kind of the Wild West, and letters aren't tied to competency in this field. I'm a clinical herbalist, though.
But that's probably a good thing, right? I mean, the whole idea is to kind of get away from the indoctrination of, the letters after your name.
It's good and it's bad because you have a lot of people calling themselves herbalist that are ineffective and I think kind of holding the craft back as a whole. And I think that licensure would kind of give herbalism an equal footing with the naturopaths and the chiropractors and all these other modalities that have kind of surpassed it in a way. So I'm a fan of licensure, but it also there is benefits to sitting where I get to sit because I get to work with people in a way that other people don't.
I know there's so many chiropractors and that's what I am, right? That's my letter. I have letters, but they're not always respected, right? I got the DC, Doctor of Chiropractic, but I know a lot of people talk about the worst thing that we did was becoming medicalized, right? Like we have to go through all the same classes as a medical doctor, not get the same respect. But then you have a lot of people that are pushing chiropractic to move into a more medicalized space when it's really not meant to be either. So, yeah.
That's a good point, and I think that happened with naturopaths too, that they kinda got sucked up into the Western medical model, like, because they were trying to compete with the medical model everyone else was doing instead of doing their own thing, and that happened with osteopaths, and I totally see that happening with chiropractors.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, and that's a whole rant for another day. It's kind of the state of natural healing. But I think what we're trying to do here today is share a little bit about our journey because we're both in the healing space, but we operate in the space in completely different ways and just taking these things and applying them to our lives and how they actually translate into everyday living.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we have the benefit of being raised in the same household and then, completely taken off on separate paths. So it's definitely fun.
It's funny because I tell people that, like, although you and I are complete opposites, like,
Hmm.
we're also, like, very, very similar. Like, nobody has the same pinnacle experiences in this world as much as you and I do. But,
No, we
like
are definitely set up to take holism to different levels. And I think we just chose different paths to do that.
yeah, which is really fascinating. So I am 31. I have a partner, but no kids, no responsibilities. I don't work a traditional job. I have my own practice. I'm a minimalist. I live light. That's it. Like I'm a free bird over here.
I'm not a free bird. I'm a locked down freaking bird. Yeah. So I guess, how old am I? How old am I, Alexis?
I must be like
Yeah.
34, yeah.
34. Just turned 34 on the 16th of December and then had my fourth child the day after. So sitting here 2 weeks postpartum, I have an 8-year-old, a 7-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 2-week-old. A practice, high volume chiropractic practice with associate doctors. It takes up a lot of my time. I live in a track house in Southern California and I guess trying to find my way through that, like, okay, I did everything the right way. I had the kids, I went to college, I opened the practice, and is this alive?
Why am I still feeling empty inside? I hit all the milestones.
Damn it. Yes. And it's so weird because somewhere at a young age, I decided, I made that decision. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to get all these accolades. I'm going to make all these accomplishments, and then I'll pick my head up and I can enjoy life. And what the fuck? It is not that way. And I feel like I've just wasted so much life not being happy in the moment, like through the hard times and the good times, and thinking like, okay, the time to be happy is down the road. Like just work hard, work hard, work hard, work hard, you know?
Well, and I'll also add you have 2 stepchildren in addition to your 4 normal children.
Yes, that's true. I mean, they're a little older.
Yeah, but, you know, you have other people in the mix, like, you dad is always around and you're taking care of him, and you have, 2 of your children are with another man, and, like, that expands your holding in life and all the people that you have to kind of support and take care of, and you do live a very busy life, and a lot of people really depend on you.
Yeah, it's definitely a very blended life. Yeah, having, 2 kids with one individual and then 2 kids with my current man, fiance. Yeah, it is a lot. And yes, we have a very open door policy at my house, so it's kind of like everybody is constantly in and out, and there's not a lot of structure. Even though it sounds like I'm very structured, it's just like it's chaos. Yeah.
It is, and it's going back to what you said earlier of, "If I hit these milestones, I'll be happy." I mean, I went down that path for a long time, right? Like, I chased career accolades, I have a master's degree, bought nice cars and big houses, and still, like, kept getting to these places and thinking, "Why am I so unfulfilled still? Why am I unhappy? Why didn't the things that I was told to do in life bring me happiness?" And, I mean, like, I blew up my life a few years ago.
That was a lot of fun for me.
You
On
yeah,
the
right?
outside looking in like, "What the hell's what's happening?"
Well, and I think everybody did, right? Like leaving, the $1,000,000 house that me and that partner at the time had just bought in and blowing up a relationship of 10 years that was completely rooted in so much security and quitting my job that paid me a lot of money. Like everyone was probably looking on the outside thinking she's crazy. I know parents and grandparents and people were just like, "What are you doing?" But like I had to do that. I was so miserable in life, and I would not have, I think, evolved into the person I am today had I not taken that path.
I'm gonna selfishly say it was really nice to have the pressure off of me for a minute, because I feel like I'm usually that person in our family that everyone's like, "What the fuck is she doing? Like, why is she just got everything figured out. Now she's switching up the narrative." But I mean, it's like sometimes things like that have to happen, right? Like it can't be like a nice calculated decision. It just has to be like I need out, right? Like I have to do something different, and it has to be so radically the opposite of what you've been. I mean, like, because I feel like you're underplaying right now. Like you were, for lack of a better word, I never fully understood what you did for work, but you were like CEO status, like queen of the nerds, right? Like helping all those people do the coding for multi-million dollar, I don't know, businesses, and to just completely be like, I'm doing this anymore. Like you could work remotely. Like you had the life, like you said, the $1,000,000 property. Like it wasn't just a nice house. You had the chickens. You were trying to do the like, we're just gonna call it the CEO thing and parallel it with the homesteading stuff that, we've both always been called to, but figuring out like how does this fit into kind of our modern lives? You did. You nuked that situation.
I did. Well, and the thing I kept doing was taking on more responsibility and more responsibility. And, it was, I'm not happy. I'm going to get another dog. I'm not happy. I'm going to get 16 chickens, and half of them are going to be raised in my bathroom because they're little Turkins, and like my life just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and my houses kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I wasn't happy. And as I kept making more money, like I kept getting more unhappy and more unhappy, and I realized like I was carrying so much stress on my nervous system and I was so dysregulated. Like I didn't even know who I was. I kind of felt like I was a shill of a person, and I had this like gnawing voice or feeling in me this entire time, like this is not my end game. Like I always knew I would do something outside of that career, but it's just it's hard and scary to blow things up and take a different path and leave a partnership that's not quite fulfilling you and leave a career that's making you miserable even though it pays the bill. Like, it's hard to break free of those handcuffs, but I will say you in a lot of ways paved that path for me because I watched you blow
Put that
things up.
responsibility on me.
No, you did. Like, you blew up a marriage that, you got into really young, and you blew up partnerships, and you made moves that looked crazy on the outside, and maybe they were, but, like, you always landed on your feet.
Yeah, I mean, I have a a genuine fear of being trapped. Like, I freak out if I start feeling trapped. And that's got to be my Sagittarius nature, right? Like, I have to be doing things different. And if I get stuck in the same day by day, yeah, I'll blow some shit up.
It's probably so ironic because, like, you probably won't find your peace till you're happy doing the same thing in the day by day. Like, that's probably like, that's, like, your like, once you're okay in that, like, "I can do the same thing, I'm happy with this life, I don't need to, like, keep looking beyond," like, that's where you find your peace.
I don't know, like why can't my life be freaking adventure after adventure? Like what if my peace is the routine and constantly going to new places and traveling with my family and doing stuff like that. Because I mean, I do like I have a need to explore and like do things different. And it's not I don't know that it's always like I understand what you're saying. Like there's definitely the okay, I've accomplished everything here. I'm not happy. What's next? Right? But I mean, some people would argue like Abraham Hicks like is always saying like there's always a what's next. There's always growth and expansion. You're always going to be wanting for more. And that doesn't have to be material, but you're always going to want to expand more, right? Like that, I think that's a very nature of our existence is wanting to just be better, do better, experience more, be happier. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like there's kind of like towing a line. There's definitely people who are like, you get uncomfortable and you just fuck it on to the next thing. But I think that at the same time, it's okay to want more too, which is interesting because you were like on this journey of scaling back, and I'm on this journey of like life. I want more. I'm happy here most days, some days, but like I want more. I want a different experience.
Well, and for me, I think you can hold both, but I think that it's in the nuance of I am happy now, right? And even referencing Abraham Hicks, right? Like, you have to be in alignment right now, right here, not wait until you get that thing, because being in alignment right here, right now is what gets you to that thing. And so
Mhm.
I think it's okay to have aspirations and want more, but I also think that you have to be happy here and you have to almost like detach from that outcome so that you can kind of ebb and flow with life. Because when you are dead set on, I will only be happy when I have a $500 million house on the beach, and that doesn't come, then you're not going to be happy. But if you kind of detach from that outcome of, maybe you aspire to want more, but you're okay with how you get there, you're okay with the turns that life takes on the way, then you're gonna be way happier, and you might end up somewhere different than where you thought you were going, but you might be all the happier, right? Like, being a clinical herbalist, studying Ayurveda, helping people with their health and their lives and their happiness, like, that was never in my purview, and if I would have stayed attached to, "I'm only gonna be happy when," these external things happen, I wouldn't have landed here. And it took a lot of like, I don't even know what it took. Honestly, it's all kind of a blur, but like it took a lot of like
Remind you? No.
just surrendering to the moment, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's kind of the crux, the cruise. What do you say? Of the situation.
Crux.
It's not cruise sometimes. Like niche, no
Okay. Nope,
crux.
never heard that one.
Anyhow, edit? No, that's the crux of the situation though, right? Like, we are all somehow chasing this one thing of happiness and peace and, like, just, and it's like there's obviously a lot of different philosophies on how to do that, and I think that's one thing that makes me so excited about this podcast is, like, you're gonna have very differing ideas. Like, literally, you are scaling your life back, you're going the minimalist route, and I'm like, "Give me 6 different houses and 6 different places that I can go spend 2 months at a time." And so I think that we're on a very different path in that regards, but like we've talked about before, like there's a parallel. There's such a parallel with like we're just trying to find how do we be at peace? How do we just be? How do we just be happy? And kind of diminish some of these narratives that we've, picked up from childhood of not being deserving of happiness, and that if you're not depressed and pissed off at somebody, that you're not doing life right. Right. So it'll be fun to delve into those, and then like some of the like biohacking things that we do, or just like everyday things that we try that work, that don't work, that nice reminders of us getting back to inspiring other people, like, hey, like this is not, there's no end game, right? There's no end to this journey. Like it's constantly evolving, and what worked last week or last year or yesterday might not be what you know you find solace in today.
Yeah, I think it'll give people a real just like a real authentic view on like what it looks like to find health and happiness in a real setting, but like in two totally different ways, right? Like me with the minimalism and simplifying and you with the maximal
Expansion. Well, expansion.
expansion.
Max out on life.
Yeah, well, and it's don't get me wrong, like, I didn't scale back because I think I'm not worthy of more or because I don't aspire to more, like, I have aspirations, like, I have travel aspirations and career aspirations and money aspirations, but for me, this short-term sacrifice is allowing me to free up my energy to put it towards what I think is my dharma,
Mhm.
and it allows me to kind of silence some of the noise of life so I can focus on where I think it is I need to be focusing on. And for me, I am self-diagnosing myself with ADHD. And the more things I have, we can go down that
We're
rabbit
gonna
hole
go
of
down that
that's fine.
diagnostic
But
hole.
the way that I operate in the world is like the more things around me, the more distracted I am. And the more things I'm worrying about, and the more places my energy is getting spread out to.
Mhm.
I have this one very specific goal that I am chasing right now. So it's me shedding everything that's holding me back from that goal. And
Mm,
that's why I'm taking a minimalist path right now.
okay.
It's
So 2 things. You said your dharma earlier. Did you say your dharma?
I said dharma.
Okay. Explain that hippie shit to me. Because this is another fun thing. Like, I'm so, like, hippie in some things and you are in others. Explain dharma to me. That's not something I've ever explained, and I'm just it piques my curiosity.
So your dharma is a little bit like your purpose or your calling. It's kind of the work that you are meant to do here on this planet during this iteration. And if you don't necessarily follow your dharma, you probably won't find your peace and happiness. And everybody's dharma is different. Dharma is different than fate. Fate is just kind of letting life take you wherever it's going to take you and you end up somewhere and that's fate. Fate is being in the ocean and letting the waves move you around. Dharma is following your calling or your purpose.
Was this kind of like you've heard of like tree of life sort of stuff of like we all have this tree of life that some people is really small, some people are like really big and overarching, like they need to make a lot of impact. And so have those concepts ever crossed
Yeah.
paths or okay.
Well, and so my beliefs come from Eastern philosophy, a lot of Vedic philosophy, and I look at it like we all have lessons that we need to learn or karma that we need to work off in this lifetime.
Mhm.
you know, I consider myself on the path to enlightenment. And in order to do that, we have to learn lessons and work through different experiences
Mm.
to free ourselves of the chains that hold us here in this incarnation, right? So I believe in incarnation. I believe that we come back and we learn a lot of different lessons and we play a lot of different roles. And until we kind of learn all these things, we can't shed the beliefs and the chains and the things that are keeping us here. So for this iteration, I feel very strongly called that I have a purpose here to do. And I do think it comes with impact. But you're right, some people might be here to learn different lessons that don't have as big of impact or are smaller. Some people are here to bring new life into the world and just be mothers. Some people are here to stir the pot and make people think differently. You're probably one of those people who it's probably part of your dharma to get people to think differently than they've been thinking, to show them a different path to get somewhere else. So, yeah, it's all, I think, connected, and what I've learned with all the spirituality and philosophy is everyone's saying the same thing in different ways.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm definitely taking the more surface level approach just because uh, uh, I feel like we've learned how to martyr a lot. And so when I start to say like we have to suffer, like I will get myself stuck in a suffering pattern, or like we have to go through these challenges. And I'm like, and I do, I've subscribed to Abraham Hicks a whole lot of like, we're just gonna simplify it, just get happy. Like just make the decision to be happy. Like, you do not have to endure hardships. You can change the script at any time. Like, you have control, right? A lot of that manifestation, or like the energy you put out, law of attraction is what you're going to get back. And I'm like, that's how I've had to kind of simplify of like not getting so stuck in my head, like, I have to suffer. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that you're saying that either. I think that my approach has just become like, just be happy. Just choose to be happy and just do it. Like, if that person's annoying you or that situation, like, just don't focus on it. Like, just get happy quick and, bring those things in. So you're in a better place to deal with stuff. So,
Yeah. Well, and I think that different spiritual teachers resonate with different people and at different points in different parts of our life, you know? So Abraham Hicks, what she's doing is she's still helping you interrupt a pattern. And I think that in the path to finding happiness, we have to undo this conditioning that was done to us in our childhood, or even maybe a little bit before childhood. But we're brought into this world. We are learning patterns. We're taking on agreements that our parents and society are forcing on us. And we think we have to do things in a certain way. We think we have to think in a certain way. You think you have to suffer because in your childhood, you had to suffer to get what you wanted. And what
Mhm,
Abraham is showing you is a different script.
mhm.
And so it still interrupts that patterning, and it still is recalibrating those stories that you've had and told yourself your entire life. So, in a lot of ways, like I said, Abraham still mirrors a lot of the Vedic things that I believe. It's just she has different words and different ways to talk to people about it.
That's cool. That's cool. So, I mean, let's talk about this. So, like, what qualifies us? So, you're an herbalist. You've done a lot of training, certifications, a lot of like research, for lack of a better word, and all of that. I'm a doctor of chiropractic, which is very alternative, very root cause driven, which I'm sure we'll get into at some point of how both of our professions deal with that. But what is something that qualifies us to even talk about life or experiences or holism or any of this?
Well, let's back up really second. Can you define holism? Like,
Holisticness?
what does it mean to you?
Um,
Yeah.
oof. Holism. I think for me it's kind of approaching the person as a whole. It's that one thing is not affected without another thing being affected. So when we're talking about health and happiness and all of these things, they directly correlate with one another. Though the word is escaping me right now. Oh my gosh. 2 weeks postpartum, okay? 2 weeks. Mom brain is real. What is it called, Alexis? I'm sorry, Lila.
Oh,
What is it called? This lot. When you're taking sunlight into account, the relationships, um
hmm.
the diet, the environment is the trigger for genetic expression. What is that called?
So we call epigenetics.
Epigenetic.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for. Yes. So I really subscribe to the epigenetic approach of health being multifaceted. So when I say holism, it's like looking at the whole person and the situation and all of that.
So exploring how it's all connected, our mind, our body, our soul, the relationships we have. Yeah. Okay. We're on the same page. We share a similar definition of holism.
All right, it took me a long time to get there.
Okay. Mom brain. Okay, so your question was,
Like what
what
qualifies us?
qualifies us?
Qualifies us to start this podcast and start hashing out some of these things.
Well, we certainly don't have like a certification or a badge and hashing. Well, maybe we do. I don't know. Like, so for me, I have a lot of lived experience, as you have a lot of lived experience. It's what I've dedicated my life to, finding these meanings. It's what I put into practice. It's what I help other people do. People come see me for chronic health issues, insomnia, depression, heart issues. And, while fixing the physical body is part of the work, my job is to shepherd people onto a higher path in life. Like, that's just what I'm called here to do, and I feel so strongly about it, like, I don't even need to justify my certifications to anybody, you know?
I'm not asking you to justify certifications. I think like you said, that's perfect. We've lived it. We've done a lot of things against the grain growing up. A lot of things against the grain. I currently still do a lot of things against the grain for my family, and even though some of these things are becoming more widely accepted, and we can start talking about them. And I think that's one thing social media has been really great for is connecting these people that are living life differently and going against the modern mainstream recommendations of this is health, right? Eat a lot of bread that's at the bottom of the food pyramid, right? So, yeah, I mean, we were raised super, super unorthodox, right?
I think so, and sometimes I don't even realize how unorthodox our upbringing was until, like, I see someone else's upbringing or it's, like, right in front of my face because it's all I know and it's all you know, and I remember being a little kid, being so proud of the fact that I was born at home and nobody else was, and I thought it was, like, the coolest thing ever, and I didn't realize, that that would be a part of my origin story and my path, but I was born at home to a midwife who ended up in jail for practicing medicine, and we grew up unvaccinated, and we never saw doctors
Uh-huh.
aside from a handful of things, right? Like, I had some eye surgeries as a child. We had some sports injuries growing up. We'd get sports physicals to clear us for high school, but other than that, like, we didn't see doctors. We still don't see doctors.
No. No, like even recently, like grandma having a stroke or grandma had a stroke. Walking into the hospital, like I freak out. Like I don't know what to do. It's just not a normal place for us to go and us to be. It's like so much so we don't even know how to operate within that realm, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah, it's very foreign, and I think it's so cool, and I'm sure we'll talk about this a lot, like, you've had 4 children now, all home births. Like,
mhm.
you had 2 children in your ghetto apartment in Georgia,
Yep, yep,
and, we had a birthing pool in the 3rd story of, your two-bedroom apartment with cockroaches. Like,
yep.
it's super cool to me that that's your experience because that's probably so foreign to so many people,
Mhm.
and yeah, we've from a very young age, I think we kind of, we still ate fast food, like, I still know what Benadryl is, like, we still had some, like, conventional things in our purview, but our upbringing was quite different, and we were definitely probably little oddballs anywhere we went. I always felt like I never fit in anywhere.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. Well, that'll be fun. There's some fun stories there for sure. So, okay. So we're starting this podcast with
Get
this
started.
new year. Yeah, 30 minutes in with this new year. Okay. We haven't really talked since New Year's Eve. And hopefully we'll delve into some like astrology and stuff. So we're in between the snake year, right? All the shedding that you were talking about doing earlier, and in between like standing in this threshold of moving into horse year, right? 9 year, we finished a bunch of transformation, moving into this 1 year of like starting stuff and like running with it. Did you do anything for New Year's Eve? Did you set any intentions, or do you subscribe to this isn't really the new year? Spring is the new year.
I'm a little bit in between. I try not to make a bunch of New Year's resolutions and think like, "Oh, this is new year, new me," because it doesn't work like that, right? Like, it's a continuation and these things happen gradually, and I've had to learn to temper my expectations of change and what's actually feasible over time. But I've done a lot of reflecting on the previous year and a lot of visioning on what I expect from this upcoming year, and the thing I've actually and honestly been coming to is I don't know what my year looks like yet, and I need to sit in the place of release and surrender.
Mhm.
And so I am working on really being present and, like part of me to blow up everything and, oh,
Yeah.
new year, I want to get off social media. I want to, change these things with my business. But the other part of me is like, you need to just operate as it comes up, and stop chasing, stop grasping, stop doing these things. So for me, like, I really want to calibrate my morning routine and some things like that, but I'm doing it gradually and with grace. And I've spent most of my time doing reflecting because I do think this is a transitional point in the year. And I do think transitions are important. Like, I do think marking new periods in life is important, but not in the way that most people do it.
Have you heard that our calendar is fake?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just like a construct, right? Like,
Have you heard that we used to have a 13-month calendar and that spring was supposed to be the new year?
well, and that makes sense to me because winter is a
Like, they're trying to push us to, like, do this new year, new me, and we're just burning out because we're still in winter. We're still in hibernate reflection mode, and they're telling you that you gotta get ready for the new year, like, go, 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 and maybe we were still supposed to be, like, the snake year doesn't even officially end until the end of February, the beginning of March, right? And all these people are like, "Okay, it's gonna be my year," and it's like, well, don't get punched in the face this month, right? Like, when you still got shit to shed.
Yeah, that's a great point, and winter really is a time to go introspective, and that's why I've spent it reflecting. Spring is the time where you open, you expand, you
Sorry.
go out and you put yourself in the world, and I was talking to Quinn, our other sister, last night, and she's like, "I need to, fix all these things for the new year," and then she said, "Wait a second, I'm not ready. It's still winter and I'm still in winter space, like, maybe it's not time to make all these major changes." And I was like, "Yes, it's not the time to make all the major changes. Your body's not there yet. It needs to gradually wake up for spring, and then you get to reblossom."
And what is it like having the seasonality of that? I mean, like, you guys are up in the PNW, right? Like, up in the woods and in Washington and Oregon, and you guys actually have, like, nature in your face of, like, "Dude, it's freaking snowing. You're not gonna go on a run when, there's freaking snow everywhere and snowstorms," and I'm in California, so I'm like, well, summer and winter are the same damn thing. But what is it like to have that seasonality kind of in your face?
It's it's great because when you're in California, the onus is on you to make seasonal changes, but out here, the elements kind of force you into these different modes. Come late fall and winter, it gets dark. It gets, the sun is setting at like 4 or 5 PM here. I am forced to go and wind down.
Mhm.
And I have a really high appreciation for living with the seasons. This is one thing I really enjoyed when I lived in Utah years ago, that you really you feel it. Like, you feel it and your body knows, like, okay, we're winding down or we're expanding or it's summertime, so we're staying up later and we're doing more, or it's fall and we're coming back to ourselves. Like, I absolutely love the seasons, and I think that the just watching the trees and nature mirror what you're going through puts it so much more front of mind, and you're able to make more seasonal adjustments than I ever did living in California.
Mhm. Yeah, that's cool. I'll get out of here one day and just there just can't be too much snow. Like such a Californian. It's gotta be a dry winter. No.
It's fun. I've learned to really start appreciating the adversity and the things not being as perfect as I need them to be. Because I grew up with the same kind of, like, I don't wanna call it, like, princess and the pea mentality, but, like,
Kind of. I
we
mean,
can
that's
be
what
pretty
Californians
particular.
are. The
Yeah.
Southern Californians, like, we're really princess in the pea.
Yeah, and so part of my stuff has been trying to let go of that and, like, kind of just be more okay with what is and let go of some of my preferences, you know? Now I'm in a town with 900 people and a Piggly Wiggly, like, I don't have my bougie grocery stores,
Yeah.
and I have to adapt and kinda let go of these expectations. We'll see.
Crazy. So did you do any New Year's folklore stuff? Did you do any Okay, I'll share. I opened the back door and let the year out.
That's
Open
cool.
the front door and let the year in and put some salt at my threshold, fun little thing. Like, I just wanted to set an intention of like, okay, let's welcome some freshness in.
Yeah, I like that. Did I do anything like that?
I did a winter solstice kind of witchy thing, like where I burned an intention every night, and then for 13 nights, and then the intention that I was left with on January 1st is the one that I'm going to focus on, and it happened to be family. It's just hard for me. I pop all these babies out between my legs, but I'm a worker bee. And so just to like kind of feel like, wow, that's got to be my intention. It's just family over everything is kind of rewiring my brain because it's always been kind of like I'll work so I can take care of everybody. Like it's a justification, right? Work so we can take care of everybody, and then I'll hang out, right? Or maybe I put the hangout first and then the work.
Yeah, because you never hang out. Oh, I got like a little bit of goosebumps when you told me your intention is family. Like that feels like like I feel excitement for you
It
to be in that space this year,
because it's flipping the table. Like it sounds cliche, but for me, it is flipping the table on how I do everything.
which is huge. And like you have the cutest, coolest kids ever. So of course, I'm a little jealous that you get to spend more time with them and what?
Just get to know them better.
Yeah. I mean, you have like, and it's so funny, like your kids are growing up so fast and they're like really coming into their own personalities and like they're like mini people now and like you blink and you miss it. Like I come home every couple months and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, like you are just who are you now? I got to relearn you."
Yeah,
But they're just still like the sweet little children they always are. So
they are.
that's I'm excited for you.
Should be fun. Maybe a
No,
little, but
it'll be fun. I didn't do anything formal that I can think of. I mean, I had a big downsizing right before the end of the year. Let go of I feel like I learned my biggest lesson of 2025 in December, of shedding some old identities, not going and walking down some old paths and repeating some old patterns. And that kind of like was a bit of a wake up call for me. And
Mhm,
so I've been doing a lot of just introspective work since then.
mhm,
And then, like, I did a big downsize, so I got rid of a bunch of things. I mean, like, a bunch of things, like, my life fits in an RV. And I went through yesterday and I cleared out all my old notebooks because, I just had, like, stacks of paper and client notes and all these things, and I'm like, "We're done. We're starting fresh." So, I did some things like that, did some intentions around winter solstice because winter solstice is more of a that feels like more of a transitional marker to me than the new year per se. I wish I did more, but I was busy helping some postpartum lady
eat a lot of food.
eat a lot of tapioca with glass in it.
That was messed up. That was messed up.
Well, we'll have to figure out what happened there because
Well, I looked, the side of the bowl was chipped, and so it must have got chipped, and then I was eating glass.
that's my bad.
Yoga.
Yeah, but I think that's a
Healing.
that's a great I have 2 other New Year's traditions that I do. So you know about my yearly playlist?
Yeah, that you make this every year.
Every year, I start a new playlist, and the songs that resonate with me throughout the year go on that playlist, and then I re-listen to it throughout the year, and I have, like, these time capsules, and I've been doing it since 2014. So that'll be one New Year's tradition, closing out my current playlist, starting a new playlist. It sounds so silly, but, like, music is such a regulator for me, and you probably relate that that has been, like, one of the coolest things I've done because I've done it for 11 years now. And then I like to reread books, and I'm rereading The Alchemist right now. Yes.
That was, that book was nothing like I expected it to be.
Did you read it?
Uh, so James and I went on a moving road trip when we moved from, the short bit that we were in Nebraska back to Southern California, and we were essentially living out of a pole, like it was a toy hauler. It wasn't even like an RV or anything. It was a toy hauler. And we put a mattress down on it and we're just kind of driving down through Colorado, through New Mexico, Arizona, and we would just stop and, try some food places and coffee, and it was one of the greatest times of our life. But we listened to that audiobook while we were driving through I think it was New Mexico. And I remember just being like, this is not what I expected at all for this book.
It'd be interesting if you reread it.
Maybe. Yeah.
because I think it's one of those ones where you can reread and get something new from it every time, and, it's funny because I feel like the book kind of finds you when you need it,
Hmm.
and I looked for a copy a couple months ago at my local library, and it wasn't available, and then I went and spent the night at Quinn's house, and she had a copy, and I said, "Quinn, I'm taking this because it's
Interesting.
exactly the book I need to read right now," and it's all those end of year lessons that I learned, like, are very in line with what The Alchemist is messaging back to me, so it all felt very kismet and just meant to be.
Maybe I'll check it out again. The one I gotta read Matthew McConaughey's new book.
Oh, I like him.
You should read his well, you gotta listen to the audio because he does it, but his green light book is kinda cool.
Yeah,
I mean, which
yeah,
is on par with a lot of stuff that we talk about all the time, like the green lights in life that are like, "Yes, go, keep going,"
yeah,
good times, and then, the yellow and red lights.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Well, I think we went a lot of places for a pilot episode.
Yeah, my bad. My bad.
No, and I think going forward, we'll kind of do loose thematic episodes, but it'll kind of just go where it goes, you know? Yeah. Well, is there
Yeah.
anything else you want to say to close out?
No, that this is good. I'm excited at a lot of the stuff that we're gonna get into.
You feel good about it? It feels in alignment?
Yeah. No, yeah, it was easy.
Good. Yeah, it was easy. It'll be interesting. This almost felt a little therapeutic to me,
Yeah, me too.
like processing some Swanberg lineage stuff.
Some of these might get a little heavy, but
But that's real life, and I think that there's a lot of polished, oversold things happening on the internet right now,
Mhm.
especially in the wellness and spiritual spaces.
Totally. You gotta bring it up real quick. The Paul Sedino.
Paul Salandino, who wants everybody to eat like a carnivore, takes coconuts through security because he doesn't want you drinking airport water. So he literally has videos on the internet of him and his coconuts going through security because you can get coconut water through security if it's in a coconut. But it's like, I'm not gonna bring coconuts through security.
I gotta know how he opens them. I got to know.
I don't I
That's
don't
so
know.
many questions.
I can you imagine him just like banging coconuts on the airport floor or something?
But they're not gonna let you bring a hammer or a knife or one of those coconut pokers. Just go ask somebody to open them and put them in a plastic cup.
It's
Like,
just so unrealistic. He's like he brought like 10 to 12. He's like, that'll get me through my travels. Like, dude, I wouldn't want to sit next to him on a plane. But he's one of the biggest wellness influencers right now.
which is
And
great. Like, he's got that great supplement line and all that, but it's just it feels unattainable, right? Like, it's like,
yes, because it is.
not
Like,
all my kids shit. I can't bring coconuts as well.
no, and I think, like that's where having some I don't know, like it's like living in the nuance or having some grace or like not aiming for perfection comes in, Like drinking airport water, if you are a healthy individual, should not be a big deal. Or buy a bottle of water in there and drinking out of the plastic bottle once in a while should not be a big deal. Like you should be resilient enough and dynamic enough to be able to weather those moments where you don't have to be 100% perfect all the time.
Mhm.
That's how I feel.
We're keeping it real over here. Keeping it real.
All right. Well, that was Vinegar and Oil.
Yeah.
See you next time.
Sounds good.